for me to love you. If you want, let me. It ain't no way for me to give you all you need. If you won't let me give all of me. I know that a woman's duty is to have and love a man, and that's the way it was then. Oh, but how can I give you all the things and more if you're tying both of my hands? Oh, but ain't no way. Ain't no way. It ain't no way. No, ain't no way. Just ain't no way. Ain't no way. Sure ain't no way, baby. Ain't no way. It ain't no way for me to love you. If you won't let me. Stop trying to be someone you're not. How cold and cruel is a man who paid too much for what he got? And if you need me, like you say.
It's some 16 minutes to hit 8 o'clock, and I once again reiterate and say that if you have kids out there, please make sure that they're safe, all right? As they leave home for school, if you see any child on the road, by the streets, walking to school, maybe the child needs some help, let's all try and help them. Let's ensure that the kids will be safe out there. I made mention of the fact that it's going to be raining almost the whole day. This morning is going to be isolated thunderstorms. In the afternoon, it will be thunderstorms and with some cloudiness. In the evening, it's going to be more thunderstorms with an overcast. So let's stay safe out there. Meanwhile, our main conversation is just about to come your way. Now, anesthetists are special doctors who are responsible for providing anesthesia to patients for operations and other procedures. In addition, anesthetists, have a range of practice which, of course, extends beyond anesthesia for surgery to include pain management and intensive care. Now, pain management is something that many people would say they are looking for, because in Ghana, everybody quickly will reach out for painkillers if they are battling any form of pain. It could be waist pain, it could be neck pain, it could be head pain, and we abuse these, painkillers to the extent that it creates problems for us even later in life because it affects our kidneys. So how do you manage your pain? I mean, if you have any kind of pain, how do you manage it? Are you abusing some painkillers out there? If you want advice on how to manage pain, ask questions and get the right answers. Our WhatsApp number is 05511119995. If you want to know how best to manage pain, they are the pain experts. They would advise you as to what to do. Sometimes you don't even need medication. You might need something else to do that will help you, do away with the pain. So if you're battling any kind of pain, you want help, they are here. They will help you. Now, what do you also make of general, anesthesia for people who would have to be given anesthesia for them to undergo surgery? I know of people who are very uncomfortable with it. What concerns do you have about anesthesia? Ask those questions and get answers as well. Our WhatsApp number is 05511119995. Now, we're having this conversation because on the 16th of October, the world over will observe the day as World Anesthesia Day. And I've got with me Dr. Moses Sian Frimpong. He's an anesthesiologist and an intensivist, General Secretary for the Ghana Anaesthesia Society, that is GAS. Dr. Sian Frimpong, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And I was asking, I mean, I don't know whether the cameras can capture this because we're live on film, right? The amount of keys he has over 30 keys on him. Leo saw, I saw it and I was like, wow. Leo saw it and he was like, hey. No, Anaesthesia is the first for any, no. Also with us in the studios is Dr. Akosia Adoma Emchi Kwating. And she's also an anesthesiologist and a member of the Ghana Anaesthesia Society. Dr. Adoma, good morning to you. It's been ages, huh?
Yes, it
Hope you're well.
Yes, I am. How
good to
are
have
you?
I'm well. All right, so for us to set the ball rolling, first of all, when we talk about anesthetists or anesthesiologists, what is your role when it comes to healthcare delivery? What can you tell us? Let me start off with you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, David, and good morning to your cherished listeners, and thank you for this opportunity. So, anesthesiologists, you can sum up our work in three main areas. So, the first is our role in surgical process. So, I always tell people that each of us have ever been pricked by a pin or cut by a knife before, and we know how painful it is. So, can you imagine lying down, being cut multiple times? If you were to feel it, then no surgery will be successful. So our role is to render the surgical process pain-free without you perceiving any stimulus. Again, during the surgery, the surgeon is busy repairing some tissues and all that, but your life is in the hands of the anesthesiologist. I mean, as to whether you breathe, your heart will beat well, your kidneys will be well perfused. Your life is in the hands of the anesthesiologist during surgery. That's the first role in anesthesia. The second is our role in pain management. Okay. And for pain, we play at the higher end of the spectrum. We are looking at excruciating acute pain and then the chronic pain management, where our expertise is used to help that. And I always tell people that in modern times, for instance, women should not go into labor and be screaming. So epidural analgesia, we know that is the gold standard for pain management in labor. We offer those services. And then, David, disease has a spectrum in terms of severity. I mean, when all goes bad, I mean, things go haywire at the extreme end of the spectrum. When things are not going well, then you are talking about intensive care. Intensive care the world over is the last stop for everybody when things are that bad. So that's where in layman's balance we say you are on life support, where we support organ system just to help pull you out of extreme disease conditions, and we play there too. So that's what we do. And I always tell people that anesthesiologists are not known to the general populace, but we are the best friend of all the medical specialties, because if you look at where we are and where we play, all the specialties, when things become difficult, the go-to person is the anesthesiologist. So our colleague doctors cherish us and are happy with us, just that we are not popular among the general populace.
Who's to blame for that?
Well, maybe the specialty, because the nature of our work, most of the time where we are actively dealing with you, you are asleep. Okay, in the surgical process, the time we come in, usually when we are about to put you off, by the time you wake up, by the time you are fully awake, we are not there. You meet the people who did the surgery. Then again, when your disease, you have deteriorated so much that you are unconscious, you are brought to us. And then when we've taken you out of trouble, not fully recovered, but in a state where you are safe to continue your care on the general wards, we give you to the other doctors. By the time you are fully awake, well, and about to go home, you don't see us. So it's the specialty.
So like a ghost phantom sort of.
So then on behalf of all the Ghanaians who are listening to us this morning, thank you very much. We don't see you, but we feel what you do. That's what it is. But, help me here, Dr. Adoma. How different is your work from that of GACRA, and I'm talking about the Ghana Association of Registered Anesthetists. I'm asking this question because they also believe that they also do or play a very critical role when it comes to healthcare delivery. There's been a few occasions where they think that you want to take over their jobs, and so they lay down their tools. There's been some rift between you and them. What is the difference between what you do and what they do as anesthetists?
Yeah. I think I'll still hand it over to Dr. Moses Frimpong since he's the General Secretary. Okay. And he's been around longer than I have been.
Okay.
And it's a bit political.
Political?
When it comes to the,
I understand. From
the
your
medical,
your work, line of work.
Not only political, but there's a difference that I think it would be best to outline.
So, Dr. Siao.
Yeah, so David, first of all, anesthesiology is a medical specialty, since time immemorial. And it's always been a branch of medicine. So the foundation for the specialty has always been doctors. And like I told you, anesthesiology encompasses three main things: the anesthesia aspect, the pain management aspect, and then the critical care management aspect. So those are three broad areas. Our colleagues, and let me say that we have a wonderful relationship with them. They play in the anesthesia component of the work.
Alone?
Yes.
They don't manage the pain, they don't take out the intensive care patients and all that?
No, so definitely once you are given anesthesia, you are aborting some pain, but they don't organize, they are not into chronic pain management, for instance, labor analgesia, no. And then critical care, intensive care management, no.
How do we maintain a very good rapport between the two of you? Because we're talking about human lives here, we're talking about, health here. So how do you coexist with them and work with them such that they will not threaten to take strike actions and stuff like that?
No, so honestly speaking, on personal levels, we never have issues. I mean, if you go to Kolebu, if you go to Konfanoche, the two cadres of professions are there, and you never hear of quarrels in Konfanoche or Kolebu or 37 or a banter between them. No, it's maybe at the association level when some demands are being made, but on the ground, you're fine. On the ground, no. Okay. No, not at all.
Dr. Adoma, how delicate would you say your role is, especially when it comes to giving out anesthesia? How delicate is your role?
The delicacy actually, or do I say that, how delicate it is actually comes in, especially during the surgery, when the patient is on the bed. For instance, if you've given something like a spinal anesthesia, I think it's quite common among people who've had cesarean section before. They give you this, what's it called, injection at the back to render the part where they gave the injection and below pain-free. You don't feel anything sensation-free. When you are given that, most of the time the side effect of that, the injection that you give will be hypotension, means that your blood pressure will drop. So that is where you have to be alert as an anesthetist to monitor all those things. And apart from that, when you are given general anesthesia, we put you on a machine, life support. You have to stay alert to make sure that the patient actually wakes up from the surgery. So yes, your senses should be quite alert, and that is not where you play with your phone or you communicate unnecessarily with your other colleagues. And when it comes to intensive care, there are WHO standards as to how many deaths should be acceptable. Dr. Sian from Paul would actually know the figures, but you have to make sure that you meet world standards when it comes to how many people recover when they come to the critical care unit.
So when you talk about the WHO, standards where how many deaths are acceptable, is it to suggest that your work is so delicate, such that if you don't do it well, lives could be lost? Now I'm asking this because you're just supposed to give anesthesia. I'm saying just not because I'm trivializing, but you're supposed to give anesthesia for somebody who has to go, let's say, undergo surgery. Now I know of an instance, a colleague of mine here, whose mother was supposed to go for surgery. The mother was fine.
Okay.
When for to be prepared for surgery, was given anesthesia. Surgery was done. She never came out of the anesthesia. She passed on.
So that's where even before the surgery, you are supposed to be assessed. I don't know if this colleague's mother was assessed before the surgery.
I'm sure it was, because it was at a big facility like Kofanoche. That's why it took some years ago.
So you have to check how fit you are. But how the surgery will go, how each patient is going to handle under anesthesia, we can't really tell. But that, as I said before, that is where your senses should be alert and everything. You have to make sure that everything that needs to be available for resuscitation of the patient, you have to anticipate the complications that may arise as a result of the anesthesia that you are given, and then the patient's condition as well as the procedure itself, and then make all these things available. But the main outcome, you cannot predict 100% how it's going to turn out. But we do our best.
In case you just
sure
joined us,
come out.
You do your best, huh?
Alive,
As whether the best is enough and people come out alive is another thing altogether. But this is Love in the Morning. It's on Love 99.5. We're talking to Dr. Sian Frimpong here. We also have Dr. Adoma with us in the studios of Love 99.5. And the role they play in medical healthcare is quite a mouthful. Anesthesiologist, huh? Anesthesiologist. And what it is that, for example, they have three main areas of work. First of all, if you have to undergo surgery, and that's where I'm dwelling on right now. If you have to undergo surgery, they are the ones that will make sure that every vital area of you is okay, then they put you to sleep for the doctors to come and perform their surgery, and then you have to come out of the anesthesia, so you come out of your sleep. All right. Now, I don't know how you feel about it. I know that some of you might have questions, because maybe you have relations who may need to undergo surgery. They're supposed to be given anesthesia. Some of the patients will say they don't want to be put to sleep. They're scared. They have their own mindset about anesthesia. If you have questions about putting people to sleep for surgery to be done, feel free and ask questions. The other side of the work is how to manage pain. Right? They also go into managing of pain. And they're talking about chronic and acute pain management and all that. But pain is pain. Pain is pain. So if you're listening to us, you have some pain and you want to know, because a pain might come, you might think it's something you need to treat with paracetamol or some painkiller of a sort. It could be a sign of some underlying problem. So talk about your pain, get the right advice this morning, and also take care of people who are in intensive care. All right, people who are under some whatever state of health they need intensive care. Ask questions and get the right answers. Our WhatsApp number is 05511119995. That's our WhatsApp number. Again, it is 05511119995. We're live on Facebook on LUV 99.5. We'll be activating the phone lines as well in a bit. But when it comes to putting people to sleep, anesthesia, do you always put them to sleep fully, or you can number an area for a surgery to be done?
Yeah, so we have different techniques based on the surgical process, the patient comorbidities, the disease conditions that you have, and a lot of factors go into settling on the choice. But yes, it's not everybody who sleeps. In fact, a lot of surgeries are done without you putting to sleep. So if they are operating on your arm, for instance, we can find out which nerve subserves that area, so that when we've blocked it, then sensation in that zone is lost, and you could have the surgery done. And then we can block your foot alone, your leg alone, your knee alone, both legs. I mean, those options are available.
Are you aware that people are scared or skeptical when they have to be put to sleep entirely for surgery to be done?
Yes.
Why is this? Or why do people fear or dread it?
Okay. Well, let me say that anesthesiology, just like all other specialties in medicine, have made tremendous progress. So people still have stories in the past. Okay. I mean, if you look at the genesis of anesthesia, I mean, earlier on when, medicine generally, the therapeutics was mainly through the use of drugs. At some point, it was determined that some form of surgical process will be needed to complement the medicines that we take. The challenge was how do we ensure that the patients do not feel the pain. So early days of surgery, people will be held down by macho men for a limb to be chopped off.
He's not macho, he's fat. Don't look at him. He's
macho man, and then at some point, alcohol was used.
I'm told cocaine was used at the point.
I mean, a lot of things were tried. Okay, and the outcomes were not great, and even as things improved, the agents that we used to had a lot of issues. But right now, especially when you are having elective surgery is a planned surgery. The risk of death is so low. So low. It's slightly higher than it's slightly higher in the emergency surgeries because they have all sorts of issues. But generally, outcomes are so good now. But expected.
So that's the reassurance. Outcomes are so good now that you don't have to harbor any fear or concern or worry.
Sure.
They are well trained, they have the right equipment, the right medications, and so you are safe out there. But again, if you have questions, feel free and ask those questions about anesthesia, putting people to sleep and all that. Let me come to you, Dr. Adoma. But how about this issue of people? What are some of the risks that you can share with us? I mean, yes, you've come far, you're doing so well. I'm asking about risks here because some would say that there are occasions where the anesthesia was given and the person wasn't able to walk anymore or couldn't use some parts of the body, maybe the arm anymore and all that. What do you have to say about that?
I've heard stories about...
Are these stories or they're real? When you say stories, it's like they're not real. They're not true.
Some may have had some comorbidities even before the surgery. And they may blame it entirely on the surgery. I'm not saying that the procedures that we perform are risk-free, okay? For example, somebody comes and complains about chronic back pain after giving spinal anesthesia. Sometimes you do an x-ray or you do an MRI and check the bones and realize that there may have been even some degenerative disease going on already, but they will blame it on it. But I'm not saying that it's actually risk-free. People have come with complaints of chronic back pain, as I said before, as a result of the anesthesia that we gave. And on the bed, for general anesthesia, I said before, there's something like called hypotension. Your BP may drop so suddenly, but it's acute, and we have drugs to counteract that. Your respiratory, there may be a respiratory compromise. Like, for example, if you are breathing at maybe say 16 cycles per minute, now we've given the drug and we are not even breathing at all. And that's where we come in. We have life support. We actually anticipate all that to happen on the bed. And then some people would come with some nerve pain, some shooting nerve pain after we've given the regional blocks, the ones that he was talking about, that we can numb a certain area. For example, if they're working on your arm, we can find the nerve and then inject around it. there may be times when you inject directly into the nerve, and then they come with.
So what
they
you're
are-
saying
they are
basically is
left
that
with
there are very
chronic
little
nerve pain.
complications?
There are complications, not little, but I mean chronically. Most of the time they are acute, and they will go away with time.
With time, okay.
Yeah, but it's just very few people are left with chronic disabilities
hear
that
you.
they have to deal with.
Well, they are here. Ask them questions, all right? We'll be activating the phone lines in a bit. But let's talk about the pain bit. So pain is pain, you know. And you mentioned that there are people who may have gone through CS or cesarean, or may have gone through some other forms of surgery. They have their own pains to deal with. That comes as a result of the work done on the person. But what about the normal pains that people have? I mean, some people tell you that the kind of work they do. I met a man yesterday. He's into delivery stuff, so he rides a bike. The man cannot walk. You know, you can see he's struggling to walk, yet he's riding the bike still. There are people who tell you that they have periodic head pain, severe headache, and yet they are not visiting the hospital. They are just managing the pain at home. They will tell you about, you know, all kinds of pain medicines they know from the morphines. Let me just, if you hold on to painkillers and all that. What advice will you give to people about pain?
Yeah, so like you advised people, self-medication is never encouraged for whatever reason. And you see, the examples you give, the answers lie within the scenario. A lot of these people are just overworking themselves, okay? I mean, human beings, we have our capacity, what we can tolerate in a day. So if you go and carry all sorts of things the whole day consistently, the solution lies in maybe reducing slightly the number of hours or the number of the amount of load you carry in a day, and that should suffice. But if you continue to overwork the body, you continue to need painkillers, and it's not advisable. So the answer really lies in looking at the workload and then getting enough rest. That can abort a lot of these pains, and you will not need medication. But because we have very terrible abuse among the people who do a lot of heavy duty stuff. They work from morning to evening, and at the end of the day take painkillers, they sleep for less. It's not helpful. So sometimes maybe they should try, maybe cut back some 2 hours.
What if you
extra.
do the cutting and it's not helping, the pain is still there? What do you do?
Yes.
So for example, let me put it this way. I think that if somebody is listening to us, has consistent pain, unbearable pain, the person should try and see somebody like you, an anesthesiologist.
Yeah, so the truth is that over 99% of the pain that patients have will not get to us.
Okay. But should it get to you?
So we come in, like I said, at the extreme end. So most of our colleagues are good at managing the pain, but it is the extreme ones that is when we come in.
Okay.
So we were talking about intensive care earlier, for instance. Intensive care, for instance, is not the first point to go to, because our interventions are quite aggressive. So it can be likened to killing an ant with a sledgehammer. So it's graded. When it's extreme, then you come in. Yeah.
So let's now dwell a little more on the intensive care area, and at this point in time we'll be activating the phone lines. If you have any questions for them, you can place in your call right now and we'll engage with you. You know the numbers already, but just in case you don't know, it is 03220-83596, 03220-83597, and 03220-83598. You can call us, all right, and ask questions about anesthesia, ask questions about pain, and ask questions about intensive care solutions, because we live in a country where now we know that a lot of people are battling kidney problems. A lot of people are battling, liver problems, and some of them have gotten to the end stage of the disease. Dr. Sianfrimpong, what would you say about it?
Yes, so well, I have a soft spot for intensive care. I do about 70% intensive care and then 30% anesthesia. And it's one area that we have serious deficits in the country. And to change the narrative, we need aggressive intervention. The personnel are not enough. That is one. Two, the facility. Two, I mean, we have a Companoche virtually serving the whole northern sector.
Wow.
But if you want to gauge the burden of the deficit for a teaching hospital, for instance, you are looking at 5 to 10% of the hospital bed should be intensive care beds. So if you take Companoche, for instance, if it's 1,005, you are looking at 75 to 150 beds should be intensive care beds. But the total critical care beds in Companoche will not be more than 20. So
it's not even up to 75.
No.
Let alone to the 150.
No. So Companoche alone has serious deficits. And it is serving the entire northern sector. So you can imagine the burden that we have. But intensive care, to setting it up and running it, is very expensive. Very expensive. I mean, the equipment that are used.
But that should not prevent us from having them.
Yeah, that's David. So you see, we then the third arm too is that the cost of treatment in intensive care is also very high. The average amount that a patient spends in the intensive care average will be, for therapeutics alone, will be 5 to 10,000 a day. 5 to 10,000 a day. As I sit here, I can't support intensive care treatment for 1 week. Okay, using my salary. That's the range. Okay, so we need to have a national, and it's not only peculiar to intensive care. You see, all the high-end interventions, heart transplants, liver transplants, kidney transplants. Do you get it? The cost is so high. Okay, how do we accommodate these? The NHIS as it is now, I always tell people, if you advocate, let's get intensive care covered on the NHIS, let's get liver transplants covered on the NHIS. I mean, you can mount pressure on politicians. They may say, oh, we've added it. But the reality is that all the money that NHIS generates, assuming none goes anywhere, and you channel all to health, it can't meet our needs. Do you get it? So until such a time that a certain government will be bold to say that, hey, let's get the requisite tax or amount of dedicated funding for healthcare, okay, and all channeled into it, we can't meet, because critical care in particular, the funding, it's difficult. The figures I've given you, how many people can afford?
And so we are losing lives due to the lack of it.
Yeah, we are losing. But to be fair, families are doing well. What happens is that when patients get into that state, a lot of family members pool resources together and all that, because it's expensive. Let me give you a typical example. See, somebody collapses. I mean, one of the conditions that kills within minutes is pulmonary embolism. I'm sure you might have heard of it, PE. When you've had PE, for instance, and everything is going haywire, you have just maximum like 10 minutes to rescue things. The drug that will break the clots for you to give you the slightest chance of the fastest acting one on the market costs 25 to 29,000. Okay, so you have the condition. We've made a diagnosis.
How do you
But
afford the
how many
medication?
people can buy? Do you get it? Or somebody has acute stroke. There are some of the strokes that if you get to the hospital within 3 hours, okay, especially if it's a clot, just a clot, you get to the hospital and your right hand, left hand not moving, and you get to the hospital and we are able to diagnose within 3 hours and give this, it restores the power in the limbs immediately. This drug costs 25 to 27,000. How many people readily have those monies in their account? But we felt, like I said, once we've explained to the family members, they quickly mobilize. I always tell people that I'm sure if I collapse, I don't have that in my account, but Aduma will help raise it quickly for me. I mean, that's what happens.
So, as a celebration approaches, what's the plan? How do you intend to celebrate the day?
Okay, there are media outreaches just as we are doing right now. We're going around the media houses to announce that we have something coming up, the World Anaesthesia Day, coming up on the 16th of October. And this year our theme is anesthesia and cancer care. We want to hammer on the role of the anesthetist in the treatment of cancer patients. There will be also a webinar, and that will be for medical the medical fraternity. So we are going to hammer on the current trends in the treatment of cancer, the role of the anesthetist in the treatment of cancer. And then on the 16th, which is the final day, the 16th Monday, we are going to have engagements with the cancer patients at the oncology units of Konfanochi and Kolebu. Because you realize that in Ghana, apart from a few private facilities that have these cancer units, Kolebu and Konfanochi are the ones that manage cancer. So yeah, we're going to be there on the 16th and then interact with the patients and to tell them what we can do for them, especially when it comes to chronic pain management. And during their treatment, even before you can diagnose a patient of cancer, there are some tests that they need to do, like the MRI, the CT scan, and endoscopy if it's a stomach cancer and all that. Before they can take a biopsy, we play a role there. And then the cancer, we know, comes with a lot of pain. How we're going to help them manage it. And then on the surgical day, when they have to take a biopsy for diagnosis, or they have a surgery to debulk the tumor itself, we tell them that we can help them in that aspect. Yes, yeah, that was just the journal. And then we are going to also give them gifts. Okay. We are not just going to interact with them. We're going to give them some gifts on that day.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we wish you well.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for making time to talk to us and for letting us in on to what you really do. Okay. We pray that more media houses will give you more opportunities to speak to the people and enjoy the celebration.
Thank you.
So you heard from Dr. Asian Frimpong and of course Dr. Aduma. As to what they do, I've tried severally not to make mistakes because I know my guys I work with, if I should try and mention the name and I get it wrong, I'll be in trouble. So you guys are anesthesiologists, yeah?
Yes, sir.
I got it right again. So yes. Enjoy the rest of the day, enjoy the celebration, and keep doing the good job.
Thank you for the opportunity.
What's the difference between an analgesic and anesthesia? Is there a difference?
So anesthesia, you abolish all sensations. Pain is one of the sensations. Okay, if you're under anesthesia, so a general anesthesia, you won't hear. Do you get it? And analgesia takes out only the pain.
Understood.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, thank you very much, and we'll be crossing over to Joy 99.7.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we'll be going to the Volta region where there is some spillage of water creating problems for residents there. That'll be the conversation on the Super Morning Show. But now we have a commercial break, and then when we return, we'll be taking you to Joy 99.7. Enjoy the day. God bless you.
Now today.
Oh
Charlie, sorry, what?
Right, Mom,
Okay, so what for call idiot? Any it was somewhere. What is a Vodafone DB for Fraba? Your friend Vodafone Flex. Let's say, phone is a cado do ami. Say 100 Gano, 10 Gano, and put 1 Ghana crap. Let's say, Ghana, Via within Bia. I mean, to me, the top Vodafone voice, data, and now broadband bundle Bia me pay. Vodafone Flex in the feel it raw.
Okay, so the Mecca price is bare 2 weeks near. Who tell me? I'm missing my Vodafone Flex.
Hello. Kaho, and my Konja, way of Ofra. So, person who use Vodafone Flexia, dial star 200 hash, star 700 hash, and now star 900 hash. Say ya. And she say down.
Vodafone, further together.
Ayayambia wo ana wadwuma bi bo hu ewo abefo kro no bokwan so. Ayayambia wo susu se obi di ne din ana wodin ebokro no ewo abefo kwan so. Ayayambia saade yi obi di bi adiwuda ana wo susu se obi betumi di bi adiwu. Ubo hu wo online link ana se online dwadie hu. Kobo Cyber Security Authority for amane efa abefo kro no bokwan bia so. Ana se koji afutuo everyone chain ansa na wode wo hu ahye online dwadie bia mu. Frɛ ana se teste ko 292 ana WhatsApp call 0501 603111 and send the email call report@csa.gov.gh. Woni yankasa wo social media at Cyber Security Authority Ghana. Cyber Security Authority yesinkiti ebo ho ban pampe ewo abefo kwan so.
Aji mensa yetitiri na ayame yaka ho. Doctor say me BP ni me sugar nyina kwosoro.
De wuhia ne Amuzu garlic bitters.
Amuzu garlic bitters.
Ane Amuzu garlic bitters. Ewo herbal shop bia.
Hello, boss. I just drove out of your premises. I've called you several times. Boss, I beg.
I gave you an opportunity to present your proposal with your financial statements. You didn't. If we approve and request for an invoice, that will take you another month. You couldn't even provide receipts from the last job. My brother, we have given the contract to someone else who promptly furnished us with what we needed. Get serious.
Yehovah.
Don't be caught in this mess ever again. Restart with Build. Build provides businesses with a comprehensive accounting software with features that make your bookkeeping, accounting, tax, and payroll functions seamless. Our support team is always available to assist and respond to all your inquiries. Log on to www.build.africa and sign up. Call 030-84007 or 0303-974-832 for more information. Build. Bookkeeping made simple. Results made extraordinary.
So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace.
My name is Diana Hamilton, VGMA Artist of the Year 2021 and brand ambassador of Awake Purified Drinking Water. I am super excited to partner with Ghana's first charity-driven water to give back to our communities. Awake is a brand that makes a difference. We impact the world around us. That is why for every bottle of Awake water you buy, an amount is donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. Yes, every time you quench your thirst with a refreshing bottle of Awake, you're helping contribute to save lives. So keep drinking Awake Purified Drinking Water and let's continue making a difference. Awake Water, one for life, supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
Introducing Pick 4 from Game Park Games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Pick 4 numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times a day to become one of our daily winners. More moolah, more power. Play online at www.gameparkgames.com or dial *946# to play. Game Park Games is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Pick 4 from Game Park Games. More moolah, more power.
1xBet. Big bonuses, big odds, big wins. Download 1xBet app. Make a deposit and you get 300% bonus on up to 3,445 Ghana cedis. The biggest bonus ever. 1xBet is a reliable bookmaker. So head up to 1xBet.com.gh. Register with promo code WELCOME-GHANA and get a huge welcome bonus on your first deposit right now. Have a chance to win. 1xBet gives you more. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Edgy.
It's still Dre Day, AK. Though I've grown a lot, can't keep it home a lot. Cause when I frequent the spots that I'm known to rock, you hear the bass from the truck when I'm on the block. Ladies, they pay homage, but haters say Dre fell off. My last album was The Chronic. They wanna know if he still got it. They say raps change, they wanna know how I feel about it. You ain't up on pain. Dr. Dre is the name, I'm ahead of my game. Still puffin' my leaf, still with the beats. Still not loving police. Still rock my khakis with a cuff in the crease. Still got love for the streets, reppin' 213. Still the beats bang, still doing my thing. Since I left, ain't too much change.
Still, I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still
hitting them corners and them lolos, girl.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat. And I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still
hitting them corners and them lolos, girl.
Still taking my time to perfect the beat. And I still got love for the streets. It's the DRE.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Your body free. Leave your situations at the door. So when you step inside, jump on the floor. Let's get it.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it percolated while you're waiting. So let's
in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all.
show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
It's the biggest dam in the country, and its spillage was planned well in advance. They knew they were going to spill the dam. How did it end up a disaster for people of various communities in the Volta region? How did families end up losing their family legacies? How did property end up floating along the surface of dirty water down the centers of towns and villages? How did Mepe become Venice? How did citizens of Bato end up having to swim in and out of the rooms of their home? How did businesses in Sogakope get washed away? How? How did it turn into a humanitarian crisis? Just because we had an excess of a scarce resource. It beggars belief, but this is the reality. This is what is happening in the Volta region today, and we are going to bring you the detail, the gritty detail of how the spillage of Akosombo Dam has affected Ghanaians, just like you and me. Ghanaians. Something that was predetermined, not an act of God, not a sudden, tornado. We'll talk about it all today on the Super Morning Show. We thank you so much for joining us wherever you are. If you're in the Volta region listening through any of our affiliates, we thank you so much for choosing us. If you're in the Asante region listening on Love 99.5 FM, we love you very much. And thank you to all of you in the Central region tuning in to ATL 100.5 megahertz this morning. This is the CIMG radio program of the year, the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. All right, we're going to the Volta region very soon. But first, a wise man once said, don't just make money, make a difference. And at ABSA, they believe in helping you make a difference through their personal loans. With an ABSA personal loan, you can get up to 500,000 Ghana cedis collateral free to finance your personal projects. Now, with a flexible payment plan of up to 7 years, fixed and competitive interest rates, the ABSA personal loan is just what you need to open the door to the life you deserve. So, visit the nearest ABSA branch or call your personal banker to discover how to get things done. That is Africanacity. That is ABSA. Terms and conditions apply.
Now, I have some delicious news to share with you today, Kojo. Imagine a biscuit made from real cereal, packed with wholesome oats and grains, containing less sugar too.
I'm imagining.
This biscuit's not only a treat for taste buds, but also a nutritious option for all ages. I'm talking about the McBerry Breakfast Cereal. McBerry Breakfast Cereal biscuit can be enjoyed at any time of the day, particularly at breakfast, with any beverage of your choice. It's delicious, nutritious, and also affordable. It's made with whole grain oats, packed with fiber, and real cereals with less sugar. Worry no more. With McBerry Breakfast Cereal, your kids have the perfect snack they can take to school. Beware, though, of imitation. Remember, go for the original McBerry Breakfast Cereal biscuit and start your day with a smile. McBerry Breakfast Cereal. Goodness for your morning. Of course, this advert is FDI approved.
All right, listen, let's go straight to the Volta region. Let's not wait any longer. People are losing property as we speak, and the fear is that this is nowhere near over. But what's happening? What's happening in towns like Mepe? Sorry, have I said that right? Mepe?
Mepe, yeah,
yes, Mepe, and Bato, and Sogakope, and Sokwe, and areas around these towns. Let's talk to our very own Joshua Tigo, who happens to be on the ground. Joshua, good morning. Why don't you paint us a picture of the effects of the spillage of Akosombo Dam on these communities?
Good morning for you and team. So, if you want me to capture the entire process of what is happening there in one word, I would say I wouldn't use the word disaster. I would say it's a tragedy. I left Accra yesterday in the morning for Mepe, just so I can see things for myself. I got to Mefe around 11:30 a.m. and went to stand about 50 meters away from where the flooding had gotten to. And within 10-15 minutes of standing where I was and conversing with some of the people that had been displaced, the flooding had gotten to where I was standing.
Oh my goodness.
And that is the force with which the spilled waters are moving. I've seen so many people displaced. Those who are lucky to have relatives on higher ground have moved to join them in their home. Those who do not have relatives on higher ground are in despair. Somehow, the local authorities, the assembly members, and the district assembly have managed to find a place for them at St. Kizito Secondary School, where even though it's a place that is going to harbor them for now, they are the mercy of the weather and all the other things that come with being at the mercy of the weather.
Wow. It does sound like a tragedy. So, any sign of the authorities? Has NADMO been attending to these people?
Yes, so as at about 5:30 p.m. yesterday, NADMO National, I saw the Director General and his deputy. I saw VRA officials. I saw Fletcher. I saw, and when I mentioned, I saw Abu Ramadan. I spoke to them. MP for the area of Kujetua Blackwa. They were all at St. Kizito Secondary Technical School, where some of the displaced people are currently occupied. And they told me that they had done allocation of relief items, but the items were yet to get to town as at about 5 p.m., 6 p.m. yesterday. Unfortunately, I have not been able to go to the center, to the secondary school, to see whether the items had finally arrived. But Kojo, I listened to your intro, and you couldn't have captured it any better, because this whole situation and the displacement that are happening in the Mefe and Bato area and the Masi area, and anybody who knows how the towns are